This is my third attempt here on waterworks in as many days, both filming a vlog and making some images. The conditions just haven't been quite right. I'm walking through a field which a week ago was flush with full bloom shooting stars. In fact, let me see here. I got one image, this tree right here, and all of this field leading up to it with a nice little sunset about a week ago. It was really quite a nice little outing. This is my third night in a row coming up here, attempting to get this image. And I'm really committed to it. If it doesn't happen tonight, I'll try again tomorrow night. Right now, there's a patch of arrowleaf balsamroots down here that are pretty much peak, and within a few days, they won't be. And so time is of the essence. And here's the thing. Be careful what you wish for. And not that it matters, not that my wishes have anything to do with the weather, but the last 2 nights, the reason the shot didn't happen was just much too cloudy and even raining a little bit, and no light came through. It was really flat. And tonight, the opposite problem. It's just blue sky. Beautiful for hiking, not so great for big landscape images, but we'll see what happens. All right, I'm gonna work my way down to the little spot and pick it up there. All right, so I'm in my target area now, and that is in this gulch that heads back down towards town. What's cool about this gulch right now is it is in full arrowleaf balsamroot bloom. In fact, I'm seeing that some of the patches are already past peak, which was, I guess, now a couple of days ago. What's neat about it, directionally, it is a V straight down to Mount Sentinel in the M, which has a really nice, distinct, recognizable shape for this area. What I don't know tonight is if any of the specific patches of balsamroots I had in mind are still healthy looking. Really looking for a patch that has full petals, they look healthy amongst a bunch of other healthy patches to create a feeling of density in the flowers. And there's a couple patches that worked for that yesterday. So I'm gonna go check those out again and some other compositions as well, because I do have a little bit of time, which is great. I'm gonna head up this hillside here and see if I can find it. I've got about 20-25 minutes until the conditions would be right for this image, and I'm not completely taken with the scene at the moment, considering these flowers are looking a little ragged. I'm gonna leave this set up as kind of a safety just in case I can't find anything else. And I'm just gonna wander around this patch just to see if there is a fuller set of flowers in this vicinity. I don't know, we'll see. All right, just as I suspected, I did find a shot that I prefer. I found a really full patch of arrowleafs just about 15 feet away, so I'm gonna switch to that composition. It works better for so many reasons. The main reason, I think, in addition to having fuller blooms, is that it lends itself to a vertical composition, which this whole scene works best that way. This is just too broad to maintain in landscape orientation. There's too much negative space on either side of the frame. So I'm gonna move everything down there and get set up. When the light should be good in about 10-15 minutes. All right, here we go. All right, so I got my composition queued up here, and it is almost go time. The light is just starting to slowly move up the hill behind me and clear it, and the light's great on Sentinel right now. Let me show you the composition really quickly. Disregard the fact that this is cropped 16:9 vertical, so we're losing the edges on this. There's a little bit more breathing room on either side, but this is the general idea. Vertical composition, looking down the wildflowers to Sentinel, and there's still light as you can see right there on the side of the hill, but that'll be gone in a moment. And yeah, then we'll get Sentinel here with late day golden hour light is my hope And maybe even these clouds will move in just in time to have some more interest in the sky. That's the only thing lacking in this composition is the sky is pretty uninteresting at the moment, and it's a lot of negative space. And in fact, I'll probably, if there aren't more interesting clouds, I'll probably crop it like that or something like that. It just doesn't need all that negative space necessarily. But if we get some cool clouds, that'd be icing on the cake. Well, that does it for tonight. What a lovely evening. You know, you get a little greedy sometimes with photography. You're out in this beautiful place and you can't just place the clouds where you'd like them all the time. And sometimes that game of chance rewards you with some spectacular light right where you want it. And sometimes it doesn't. And tonight was one of those times it really didn't, but it's still so nice to be out. And honestly, I'm really happy with the shot I got in spite of the fact that the sky didn't have any interest, so to speak. That's just the way it goes. But yeah, pleased with the results and happy to have worked on this shot for several days now over the last week. It's another day in paradise. This is 3 days later. I got a shot that evening. I got a shot 3 nights ago. It was okay. What it needed was just a few more clouds above Mount Sentinel to feel like a complete composition. There was an excess of sky, too much negative space, so some more interest up there. That would be a complete photograph. So I came back the next night, and then last night, and I'm back tonight. Hopefully it'll happen. And truthfully, I think, let's see, this is my 7th time filming this exact same vlog, walking the exact same route, filming the exact same scenes, working the exact same composition. 7th attempt in maybe 10 days. Man, I am committed to this thing. I am so committed. Tonight feels pretty good. Got some scant clouds coming above Sentinel, which is good. Very few clouds on the western horizon. We should get that nice late day golden hour light on the mountain and the low-lying clouds. There are 2 factors tonight that I think are going to prove challenging, and that is first, finding a healthy full set of balsamroot flowers. Each night I've come back for the last 4 or 5 nights in a row, it's been more difficult to find a full set of flowers. The petals are starting to drop, bugs are starting to eat them, and they are wilting. So that's going to be the first challenge, is finding a nice full set of flowers. And the second challenge is it's pretty breezy tonight, maybe the breeziest night of the last 7. So the flowers are moving quite a bit. So it's going to be tricky freezing the motion, especially to do a focus stack to get 4 or 5 successive images tack sharp that will blend well together. That's always a challenge, but not an impossible one. So I'm gonna head back up to the same area I was before and try to address the first issue, which is finding a healthy set of balsamroot flowers. So I found a very healthy patch of balsamroots very near to where I was last night. In fact, this might have, I don't know, one of these patches was where I was last night. This is a really good looking bunch, full petals. They're not wilted, they still kind of have some shape to them. This is the most promising light scenario of all the visits I've had here in the last 10 days. It's really setting up nicely, really good direct light, and clouds are moving in. Just a few clouds right up above Mount Sentinel, which is kind of an ideal scenario. Let me show you what I'm working on. Disregard the fact that it is cropped to 16 by 9. It will be full frame 2 by 3 aspect ratio. So a little bit more width on the side of the flowers, but this is the idea for the image. I found these nice balsam roots that will provide a nice anchoring foreground, big full flowers. The height here for this shot was critical to get it just right. If it's too low, we lose the middle ground in this area right here. And if it's too high, we start to lose the foreground. So the sweet spot is about right here, where we get that nice exaggerated perspective of being close to the foreground, but maintain a continuous opening and line all the way through down the balsam root field. So what I'm thinking in terms of the final shot is in maybe 30 minutes when this whole hill is in shadow and Mount Sentinel is still getting direct golden hour light, and some of those clouds are starting to catch a little bit of that golden light as well. I think that will be the ideal lighting scenario. I think when the balsam roots go into shadow, at least from the last few nights when I've been shooting, I notice it matches the golden hour light really well. So I think there'll be a nice visual relationship between the gold down here in shadow and then the golden light on Mount Sentinel and up in the clouds. I think that's kind of the sweet spot. I'll take images throughout the changes in light to see what looks best when I get home. I think that's what's gonna work based on the last week being out here working this shot. Yeah, I'm gonna get all the settings dialed in, get my focus stack figured out so that when the light kicks off, when it's ready, I can just go and I can just take that series of photos really quickly. Check this out, we got some really lovely light. You may be asking, why aren't you photographing that amazing sunset light? And the answer is, it's because I'm not that great of a photographer. I'm a one composition a day kind of person. I find it, I work it, I get exhausted, and then I can't think on my feet to make another shot using this light right here. That's the truth. That's another confession here on the Wildflower Diaries. I think it happened. The clouds were there, the golden hour light on Mount Sentinel was there. I feel like I had a strong foreground. 3 or 4 nights ago, it was okay. The light was good, the golden hour light on Sentinel was good, but there were no clouds. And I knew it wasn't the one. And now walking away tonight, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is the one, and now feel like I might be able to walk away. Well, that's it for what turned out to be a 1.5 week long project. And here's the thing, before I show you the image, I'm gonna leave you with the image at the end of this video in a few seconds. Before I show you, before you see it, please don't equate the fact that I worked a 1.5 weeks on this shot to it being a good one. Whether or not it is any good and it was worth a 1.5 week wait, it doesn't even matter at this point. I got to spend a 1.5 weeks back here just sitting in the wildflowers, watching the sunset almost every night. Now that I've totally downplayed and dismissed this image, here's the final image. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.